Welcome back to our guiding principles. This is Tradition 12 for groups. The questions for each section that are in our book will be posted in the description box below. Join our group on Facebook. A link will be in the description box after the questions. Tradition 12 says, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all of our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. For groups. Tradition 12 makes clear that the principle of anonymity is at the core of all we do. Anonymity is so important to what we do, in fact, that it makes up half our name, Narcotics Anonymous. For many of us, our understanding of anonymity begins with recognition that recovery is easier when we can seek help for our problem with some measure of privacy. Anonymity includes keeping the identities of our fellow members confidential, but it is much more than that. Anonymity establishes our right to equal membership in NA and makes our groups a place where addicts of many backgrounds and unique personalities come together to share recovery. The result is an atmosphere of recovery capable of giving addicts enough hope to stay clean. We come together as one, but in recovery, we are neither nameless nor faceless. Our distinct personalities, our diversity, and our experience are what make up Narcotics Anonymous. None of us is better or worse, more or less important, more or less worthy, or likely to make it another day. Anonymity gives us all a break and gives us each a chance. Recovery is not a measurable commodity. When we live the NA program to the best of our ability, we bring hope to the meeting. At some point in our recovery, each of us goes through some darkness. Facing challenges and struggling to live our principles doesn't take away the reality of our recovery. Our struggles are part of the process. Anonymity means that each of us brings what we have to the group, and from that material, a message develops. Each of us is a part of that. None of us is the whole thing, and none of us ruins it, even when the best thing we're doing is not picking up. Our practice of anonymity makes it possible for us to experience unity, and our contributions to the common welfare of NA improve our personal recovery. We are a fellowship of talented, creative, dynamic, and resourceful people, but when we direct our energies only toward helping ourselves, many of us end up feeling isolated, alienated, and alone. When we turn our attention and our efforts toward helping each other, we may feel more like ourselves than we ever have. Recovery gives us the freedom not just to be ourselves, but to see, perhaps for the first time, how valuable we truly are. The anonymity we speak of in Tradition 12 is much more than the ideas of namelessness or confidentiality many of us associate with the word anonymous. However, the practice of anonymity does involve being mindful of these concerns. Tradition 12 in it works. How and why notes that many of our meeting formats include the statement that what's said in this meeting stays in this meeting. We all benefit from the freedom that comes with being able to share from our hearts without being worried about public disclosure of what we said. It can also be helpful to keep in mind that no one practices all of our guiding principles perfectly at all times. We practice these principles to the best of our ability just for today. We value privacy and confidentiality in NA, but we also learn to practice discretion in what and how we share. The confidentiality we hope for in a meeting is not the same as the deep sanctity of the sponsorship relationship. We expect our sponsors to keep our confidences, and we build trust in others over time. Not everyone in a meeting will honor that same degree of confidentiality, even though we may wish they would. Strong groups foster an atmosphere where members can share freely, but anonymity is still not a guarantee of privacy. We each play a part in helping all our members feel safe and secure in sharing. Anonymity is important at the group level for another reason. Our groups have their own identities. Our fourth tradition provides groups with the autonomy to conduct their meetings as they see fit, as long as they adhere to the guidance in the rest of the traditions. The fifth tradition sets the job of carrying our message ahead of anything else a group does. The personality the group develops in its autonomy should always be in service to the task of carrying the message as best we can. This is one way in which groups place our principles first. Another way can be found in the selection of trusted servants. The members who make up a home group typically lend their personalities to the identity of the group. Practicing the spirit of rotation when choosing our group trusted servants can go a long way in helping the group to develop an identity based on practices and principles rather than particular personalities. The NA group, as the group booklet tells us, is the foundation of the NA service structure, with anonymity as the spiritual foundation of all our traditions. The NA groups can establish the spiritual tone for all of our NA service. Our groups are the place where our members first experience and learn what anonymity means in the context of our fellowship. The better our groups embody the loving guidance found in all our traditions, the better our members will be equipped to grow in recovery, serve selflessly, and contribute in the spirit of goodwill to our primary purpose. This concludes Tradition 12 for groups. The questions for this section are in the description box below. The next section is in service. This will complete the guiding principles